Well, it's not to, ever diminish winning a game, because it's hard to win games in this league, and I thought we started a little flat, and then I really liked how we picked it up, and obviously the fourth quarter we didn't execute the way that we wanted to, and I think our guys know that, and hopefully that's something that we'll continue to work on. Just playing a whole 48 minutes, and Washington did a good job of they kept competing and made plays, and were able to really cut into the lead. But it's coming off a big win the other night to come out and for the most part of the game, I think have a good effort. Had just other than a couple stretches.
For the most part, you guys are stacked 3 good games. One of the big things for you guys this season is stacking days. Just how reassuring is it that you guys have been able to have those moments?
Yeah, I think it's just you want to set the bar high, that you can. It's you want to stack days, but we don't want to. That the part of that doing that is the consistency, and I think that's becomes the result of that focus on the process. And when we have that, we've had that focus, we play well, and then it's sometimes there's a lot of things that impact that, but you can't let a score, foul trouble, missed shots, all those things that are in the stars that you don't have control over, impact the things that you do control.
Coach.
Yeah.
Despite the way the game ended, how important was it to go on this road trip coming up on a good note like this?
Yeah, I think sometimes we lost the first 2. We've won a few in a row now. And the sky wasn't falling when we lost 2, and we don't need to be congratulating ourselves, for winning 3. This is a long haul this season, and hopefully today can in a different way than the other night, and in a different way than dating back to Charlotte in the opener, New York. That we just want to take these games and try to use them to get better.
Coach, with it still being very, very early in the season, and you talked about winning 3 in a row, but with it being this early in the season, is there something that you've been really, really impressed with thus far that you wouldn't have expected to kind of come together this early, but you're happy to see it kind of come together as early as it is now?
Yeah, I think the things, big picture that I've talked about, what we're trying to do on the court, you don't always do it. Hopefully you get better at it. But we've been an unselfish team. The other night, Milwaukee, we had 8 guys in double figures. There must have been 6 different times against Minnesota where the rotation changed. Someone came out for 2 minutes, they went back in. Somebody played beyond the rotation. Trey came out, didn't go back in the third quarter. AJ came out, played well in the first half, didn't play the second half. O finished the game, Clinton didn't. Hunt's rotation got shaved some. Sadiq and JJ came in for each other, and no one missed a beat through the whole thing. Bogey's maybe more than anyone, because Bogey had played well when we were making that comeback, and then because Trey sat the last 3 minutes of the third quarter, I got him back in. And that's usually, Bogey's usually in then. And then at one point, I had Bogey go back in, and he was at the scores table, and DJ, who's obviously playing great, I was going to give him a blow. And we sat Bogey back down, and then 2 minutes later, I put him back in. And that's seriously, that's so that substance of a group, to me, gives your team a chance to get better. And not every game's going to be like that, obviously. But to the extent that, that illustrates, I think, the buy-in that these guys have had, for one another, and trying to do things that, making individual sacrifices, for the group.
You talked pregame a little bit about how Washington was playing small and how that was something you had to be prepared for. How did you think your defense handled that today?
I didn't think we had a great defensive night. I think we've played in stretches, but we haven't been at the level that we need to be at. We've made some plays. Like I said, we've gone on some runs when we have played good defense, but there's been too many too many possessions where we're not executing, where someone's not shifted in the right place. We're not running back into our shifts. Maybe we're back, but we're not communicating. Our pickup points aren't high enough on the ball, and it's everybody. And it's not for lack of care or effort. I think we just got to you got to be persistent, and we got to keep grinding. And, that's what this league is, and that's what it means to become a solid defensive team. You just can't take plays off.
Coach, you did have a good night on the boards tonight. Could you just talk about that effort there?
We did?
Yeah. real good.
We did a good job on the boards.
Okay.
I just think that, the rebounding, we did have possessions where we went after the ball, and we got some rebounds in crowds.
Coach, I want to talk about the turnovers. I know you said they came out a little bit slow, but can you account for those turnovers and where they came from? Was it just a lack of focus?
Yeah, no, it was a lack of precision, whether it be, how we were spaced at the beginning of the possession, not passing the ball soon enough at times. They were really shifted, and, we did that. We did a great job of that, a number of times where we found guys quickly and trusted each other, and that's just something we got to keep. The other night we had 8 turnovers, and so that's something certainly we're capable of doing. But I think late, when they were trapping us, we weren't strong with the ball, and we didn't give each other outlets and help each other. So we're capable of doing that, and I anticipate we'll continue to be efficient with the ball because we've got good handlers and good passers. I just thought we got a little lazy.
Just back to that unselfish theme, I think all 5 starters were in double figures by the middle of the third quarter. Mm-hmm. What challenges does that present to?
I think, to your point, that balance allows you. It happened the other night when there's certain matchups that, Hunt has a mismatch in a situation and takes advantage of an opportunity he has, or, we have something in pick and roll. But I think as much as anything, I would say that's indicative of the unselfish nature of the group. And it probably shows itself, that's a byproduct, I think, of us being willing to move the ball.
Hey, Quinn. I've asked Trey this, I've asked his teammates this, but have you ever seen, that wraparound pass that he had to DeJounte? Have you ever maybe watched film or something like that and just been wowed by something he's done maybe in practice or something?
Trey's artistic the way he plays, so I have to admit I'm not. My job isn't to be wowed. It's to make sure that he completes the pass. And in Trey's case, that's what he does. So a lot of the things that he's doing that may look, they're not unnecessary. He uses his eyes, he uses ball fakes, he changes speeds, and he's able to kind of create passing lanes by doing that. And, he's gifted in that regard. And I'm glad we rebounded, especially offensively, because we haven't been doing that as much.
Thanks.
Okay.